Have you ever pondered over the rich and diverse historical background of India? The vastness of our history, the depth of our culture, and the vibrancy of our traditions have always been a point of fascination. From the ancient Indus Valley civilization to the modern democratic republic, the journey of India is a tale of resilience, evolution, and transformation. Every piece of this history serves as a cornerstone in the foundation of our present. Therefore, understanding this historical background is not merely a matter of interest, but a crucial step in appreciating the intricacies of our nation's evolution. Today, we are going to delve into this captivating journey as presented in M. Laxmikant's 7th edition, Chapter 1. This comprehensive guide provides an insightful perspective into the historical background of India, unraveling the threads of time to weave a vivid tapestry of our nation's story. So, are you ready? Dive with us into the fascinating chronicles of India's past. India's story begins thousands of years ago in the realms of ancient history. A journey back in time takes us to the Indus Valley civilization, one of the world's oldest urban cultures. Flourishing around 5,000 years ago, this civilization was marked by impressive city planning, intricate artistry, and economic vitality. Cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa stand testament to the advanced lifestyle of the people during this period. From the urban sophistication of the Indus Valley, we move on to the rustic charm of the Vedic period. This was a time when the society was largely pastoral, and the concepts of Varna and Ashrama started to take shape. The hymns composed during this period, encapsulated in the 4 Vedas, remain significant to this day, signifying the inception of Indian philosophical thought. As centuries rolled on, India saw the rise of mighty empires. The Mauryan Empire, under the leadership of Chandragupta Maurya and later Ashoka, was the first large-scale empire in South Asia, stretching from modern-day Afghanistan to Bengal. This period marked the beginning of political unification and administrative efficiency, with Ashoka's reign standing out for its unique approach to governance and welfare. Following the Mauryan Empire, the Gupta Empire emerged as the next significant phase in India's history. Known as the Golden Age, this period witnessed a remarkable flourishing of science, art, literature, and philosophy. The creation of Aryabhata's astronomical works, the composition of Kalidasa's masterpieces, and the development of the decimal system all occurred during this era. These periods, each unique and significant, shaped the cultural and political landscape of India, leaving an indelible imprint on the country's collective psyche. They gave us a glimpse of the rich tapestry of Indian history, a blend of urban sophistication, spiritual wisdom, political acumen, and artistic brilliance. Ancient India, with its vast empires and profound wisdom, laid the foundations for a civilization that would stand the test of time. As we journey from ancient times, we now enter the medieval period of Indian history. A time of great transition and transformation, the medieval period marked the advent of Islam in India, which significantly influenced the nation's cultural, political, and social landscape. The medieval period began around the 8th century with the arrival of the Arab traders. They were not just merchants, but also scholars and missionaries who brought with them a new religion, Islam. This led to the establishment of a number of Muslim kingdoms in India, including the illustrious Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultanate, a confederation of 5 dynasties that ruled from the 13th to the 16th centuries, played a pivotal role in shaping the course of Indian history. It was a period of political upheaval, strategic alliances, and fierce battles. Yet, it was also a time of cultural and intellectual flowering. The Sultanate's rulers, while known for their military prowess, were also patrons of art, architecture, and literature, leaving an indelible mark on the Indian cultural landscape. Subsequently, the medieval period witnessed the rise of one of the most powerful empires in Indian history, the Mughal Empire. The Mughals, who ruled India from the 16th to the 19th century, were not only formidable warriors, but also enlightened rulers. They were great patrons of art, architecture, and culture, and their rule brought about a remarkable cultural amalgamation. The Mughals were instrumental in blending Persian, Turkic, and Indian traditions, giving birth to a unique cultural synthesis. This cultural amalgamation was reflected in various aspects of Indian society, from art and architecture to literature and language. Iconic monuments like the Taj Mahal and Humayun's tomb stand as testament to this cultural blend. The medieval period, therefore, was not just about political changes and warfare. It was a crucible of cultures, where diverse traditions, religions, and ideologies intermingled and coexisted, shaping the social fabric of India. It was a period that added a new dimension to India's rich tapestry, enriching it with diverse hues and textures. The medieval period, a time of cultural confluence, added a new dimension to India's rich tapestry. The winds of change blew over India as we stepped into the modern era. As we traverse the timeline, we find ourselves in the modern period, a time that brought with it the winds of change. The British East India Company set foot on Indian soil in the early 17th century, marking the beginning of what would be nearly 200 years of British rule. This era saw a transformation in India's political, social, and economic landscape. With the onset of colonial policies and legislation, the introduction of English education, and the establishment of a formal bureaucracy. But it wasn't just about the British rule. It was also an era of resistance and rebellion. The spirit of nationalism began to stir the hearts of the Indian people. The seeds of dissent were sown, leading to a series of revolts and uprisings. The most notable among these was the Revolt of 1857, often referred to as the First War of Indian Independence. In this turbulent time, the formation of the Indian National Congress in 1885 marked a significant milestone. It emerged as a platform for political dialogue, a gathering of minds united by a common goal, the liberation of India from British rule. The Congress played a crucial role in mobilizing the masses and orchestrating the struggle for independence. And it wasn't just about politics. This era also saw a social and cultural renaissance. Reform movements sprouted across the country, challenging age-old customs and traditions, advocating for social justice, and fostering a sense of national identity. It's essential to understand the significance of this period. The modern era shaped India's contemporary political and social structure. It laid the foundation for democratic governance, institutionalized the rule of law, and ingrained the principles of secularism and social justice. Modern history, a period of struggle and resurgence, set the stage for an independent India. The winds of change that blew over India during this time continue to shape the nation's journey. Even today, with the dawn of independence, a new chapter began in India's history. Finally, free from the clutches of colonial rule, India had to navigate its own path, a journey that was far from easy yet full of promise. The first order of business was the creation of the Constitution. This mammoth task was undertaken by the Constituent Assembly, a group of wise and dedicated men and women led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Their aim was to create a document that would lay the foundation for a democratic, secular, and sovereign nation. The Constitution, completed in November 1949 and effective from January 26, 1950, became the guiding light for this newborn nation. However, independence was not without its share of heartache. The partition of India and Pakistan led to one of the largest mass migrations in human history. Millions were displaced, families were torn apart, and communal violence erupted, leaving a deep scar on the psyche of the nation. In the subsequent years, India underwent major political and social changes. The country adopted a mixed economy model, balancing the principles of socialism and capitalism. Landmark reforms such as the abolition of untouchability, the introduction of universal adult suffrage, and the implementation of a series of 5-year plans aimed at economic development and social justice were some of the key highlights of this period. Despite the challenges, there were significant triumphs too. India successfully maintained its democratic fabric in the face of regional, religious, and linguistic diversities. It made considerable strides in the fields of science, technology, and space exploration. The Green Revolution transformed the agricultural sector, making India self-sufficient in food grain production. In conclusion, the post-independence era was a period of transformation and growth. It was a time that tested the resilience of the nation and its people, shaping the India we know today. The post-independence era, a time of transformation, marked the birth of a democratic, secular, and sovereign India. India's historical background is a saga of a civilization that has thrived and flourished over millennia. We've journeyed together through the fascinating epochs of this vast subcontinent's past, from the ancient dynasties that laid its cultural foundation to the medieval empires that fostered its diversity. and the modern era that heralded its struggle for freedom. Each chapter of this story, each age and era, is an integral stitch in the rich tapestry of India's history. Understanding this historical background is not just an academic exercise, but a key to appreciating the nation's present and the path it's forging towards the future. It's a reminder that the roots of India's democracy, its secularism, its social fabric, and its global outlook are embedded deep in its past. So, as we turn the last page of this chapter, remember that history is not a static record of the past. The echoes of the past continue to resonate in the present, shaping India's journey into the future.